Hello and welcome to Red Willow Makeup Art. I'm Christian and this is my long overdue tutorial for, that's right, Snow White. Although this is more Grimm's and Once Upon a Time inspired than it is the Disney movie. It is a beautiful movie artistically, but I just want to strangle her whenever she talks. I know I have an annoyingly high voice too. I wish I could make it lower, but without vocal training I can't. But that just high-pitched 30s comforting voice she has drives me up a wall. But this will be my first of Grimm's, Disney, and Once Upon a Time, possibly even some other things that have taken fairy tales or similar children's stories to a different dimension. I will be covering because that is one of my loves in life. No matter how old I've gotten, I never stop loving a good fairy tale. Okay, enough with me yabbering. Let's get on to the first part, which is my hair, which I did not do myself. If you know me in person, you know I'm really not that good at styling hair. It's something I like, it's just not something I'm naturally good at. It takes me quite a while to learn how to do a look. Um, my coworker and good friend Melissa did this. Thank you so much for taking the time to, and the product, because there's a lot of hairspray. Um, Also, there is my flower, well, rose, white, obviously white, hair comb that is from an Etsy company that I have a link in the down bar. I talked about it in my last video. That actually is very crucial to the look in an odd way, besides for Snow in Once Upon a Time wearing white flowers often in her hair in her prior to her father's death scenes. But also, in the Grimm story, the queen tried to kill her 3 different times. First was, I can't remember the order with the first two, but once with a poisoned hair comb, once with a corset that was laced too tight. They cut the corset off of her and they took the hair comb out. And then lastly was the poison apple, which the dwarves didn't know how to cure, so they put her in the glass coffin, where the prince eventually rode past and saw her perfectly preserved body, because she was on a sleeping spell, not dead. And after, I guess, a lot of haggling, I can't remember the exact way they put it in the story, the prince bought Snow White in the glass coffin from the dwarves. And while they were taking her to his kingdom, the coffin fell off the carriage, and somehow that dislodged the poison apple bite from Snow White's throat. And she woke up, they got married, and her stepmother has to wear red-hot iron shoes, which, if you know anything about medieval torture, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And dance until her death at their wedding. Although, once upon a time, I sometimes think that I could do that to Regina. Okay, just hit 4 minutes of babbling. On to now the makeup. I have already put Lancome L'Abyss primer on my skin, and as I was complaining about my skin recently, I gave myself a chemical peel yesterday, and I really think it's been helping already with my acne, but it's equivalent to a microdermabrasion. Next is going to be my foundation, which I was having, I guess, arguments with myself for whether I was going to do foundation in this, but I am, because I'm mixing my Revlon think I know the name, but just want to make sure I get it correct. Revlon Color Stay Whipped Cream Makeup in 110 Ivory. I think it's their second lightest, or their first. I'm normally third or second in luxury brands and first in drugstore brands. But I find this to be a good foundation for when I don't want to use my expensive ones, which, sorry loves, but I'm not going anywhere after this tutorial. I'm just going to read, so there's no reason for me to use my $50 foundation. I'm going to take my Real Techniques buffing brush, stipple it in that little cup I used to mix it, and take my mirror and just dab, 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 pounce all over the face. Yes, this does look frightening at the moment. My fringe. I don't know why, but I think it's such a much nicer term than bangs. And as I learned from Vintage or Tacky, my favorite YouTuber, which I often reference her videos, to hold the brush from this part. I'm going to hold it a little bit more up because the white morbid makeup I added to the Revlon is old and has an odd consistency and needs blended out a little bit more than my average foundation. I don't think you can see it on camera. I know you can tell that I'm more paler, but this is heavy coverage. And not just, it's canceling out all of my imperfections, but it is, there's a layer on the skin which I wouldn't normally wear. But for this, it actually works well. It's kind of like early cameras where they, in movies, where they had to wear layers and layers of makeup to even be visible. Correct. Movie buffs, I think you know what I'm saying. And for the next step, I will be applying the Revlon Photo Ready and Pinched. It's a nice cream blush, which there's a better blush coming, but this is so I can get that flush look. This is the blush I wear most often for work when I do a very toned down, just a few notches above natural look, so that it does give the appearance of pinched cheeks. I have a friend who used to do that, or I'm sure she still does, all the time to make it look like she was blushing. Which I don't recommend, and she knew better because she's an esthetician as well, and it can break the blood vessels in your skin. I'm gonna yabber, I might as well try and tell you some useful facts. And the color actually will go down quite a bit from what there is now, just because when you agitate the face, it becomes red. And that was a MAC 130 buffing brush. I used to use it as my buffing brush for my foundation until that Real Techniques one I found better for less areas of the face. And I will be taking the Benefit Watts Up highlighter. I got this for my birthday. Thank you, Benefit. Sin by Urban Decay is my favorite cream highlighter. But you know what? This one is not bad at all. And by the way, the reason you haven't seen me use concealer yet is because for the purposes of this, the mixtures of foundation hid anything I'd really want to hide that other makeup isn't going to already. Except for, watch me eat my own words, under my eyebrows after I fill those in. Sorry for that, and sorry that I probably won't edit this, but it's just because I'm wanting to get it out. I'm using a NYX Matte Brown from the All I Ever Wanted palette. I better use one mirror or else this will become a hot mess. I'm lightly dusting that through. If I was going to wear this all day, I would put an eyeshadow primer through my lids as well, or through my brows as well. And although I'm not going to, I'm still going to groom them. I think I said this in another video, but an instructor once told me that doing the whole face and neglecting the eyebrows is like cleaning a room, but not cleaning the windows. It's still going to look good, but it isn't perfect. Or extremely nice, because basically it can't be perfect. Throwing that. Now I will be taking my Urban Decay Primer Potion. Putting that all over the lid, up to the brow, and a little under. Even though I'm going to take this off, primers can really help make your eyeshadows stand out aside from making them last longer. And I'll be using now the original Naked palette and a clean Sonia Kashuk blending brush and the color Buck. Matte. I'd say warm tone, yeah, warm tone brown. Okay, zoom in. And with circular and window motions, I'm going to blend that where the bone meets the eyelid. Even though this tutorial is longer than it should be, I'm trying to use really as little makeup as possible because Snow White is always described as being such a natural beauty that I really didn't want to mess that up. And once again, I love the Once Upon a Time version where she's not so wimpy that she goes out and hunts and fights for what she believes in. Just good hero story. Okay, and for my eyelids, I will be taking the Ecotules shading padding brush in Virgin, which is the lightest color right there in the palette. and lightly patting that over both eyes. You can barely tell it's there, but it's still does something for us. For us, that's why I just made that weird face. Didn't need to be used. And now MAC Painterly. I was looking at Painterly. Black Track Fluid Line. And the MAC 211. Picking up on the brush. I'm going to make my line the thickest at the middle, thinnest at the inner, and then middle thickness be the outside. Which will make my eyes appear rounder and my lashes thicker, because I will not be using false lashes in this video because I naturally have pretty good lashes. They're not this dark naturally, they're tinted, but again, Snow White natural. And yes, the liner is not perfect, and that is why we'll go in the angled brush from Eco Tools again, and a matte black, and set it and smudge it just a little bit. Which will fix the imperfections. Okay. Now I'll be curling my eyelashes. 1, 2, 3. Move up a little. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And since I'm not wearing false lashes, I am using the Falsies Flared by Maybelline. Making, yes, crazy mascara face. And I don't understand the problem much. It happened to me, but with people getting mascara on the top of their eyelids. It really never seems to happen to me. People have asked how I do it with that one. I don't know. The last part of the eyes is taking a white pencil and rimming the waterline. to make the eyes appear more awake, which was also part of the curling process, and the reason for the white, bigger, more awake. Okay, and we are almost finished. Who can think of Snow White without the red lips, color of blood? Sorry, I don't have any blood laying around, but I do have a red pencil by Youngblood that is called Truly Red. It's a very pigmented blue-red. I'm just filling in the whole lip. Try not to fudge it up as I talked. Then I'm taking the Femme Couture duo of lip and cheek stain, and this is Get Rosy. I'm running that over the lips. Okay, and now for one of the things that really inspired this look. Sorry, I'm not looking at you, I'm saying that. Would be this blush, which is Vitamin Apple. Melissa, my friend, the cosmetologist who did my hair, let me borrow this for this video, and I really need to get it back to her, although I'm going to miss it. So I'm taking a little bit of that on my 129, tapping it off, and applying it to the apples of my cheeks. So when she wakes up out of the coffin, she has that extremely flushed look. And a little bit chin, which kind of brings everything together. And then, very last, I'll be taking that same brush but cleaned off. Now actually I'm going to take my contour brush from Real Techniques, scratch that, and Buff blush by MAC. It's better than the bronzers I have because it's closer to a skin shade than a sun-kissed look. Then I just want a light contour. Okay, I think for once I pulled off this tutorial correctly. Let me know what you think, and I really do appreciate it if you watch this very long tutorial. Be safe, be blessed, and as William Shakespeare said, love all, trust few, and do wrong to none.